in this case. Ravi Kishore, are you there? We were communicating the classes. We were telling you people that we are going to have the classes from 1st February, right? There were many people asking me online also, in between the classes, when will the online class as well as offline class going to happen? So I said it clearly that from February 1st onwards, we are going to have our physical classes continuing. So the timetable was framed for that purpose and it has been communicated beforehand itself. What is the clarification that you need with regard to that one? Are you having a doubt that do you need to attend both of them or one of it? What sessions will be conducted? Is that the doubt? Okay. The thing is, we'll have, since we are having very less time, we'll be conducting both the sessions. And in both the sessions, I will try to keep uh, as much as possible the online sessions. Even if it is offline class, I'm going to record it and put it into the YouTube channel so that those who are sitting at home can also have a view of it. So both you people need to attend. I'm trying to keep different topics in both the sessions. It is not that what is kept in the online will again be taught in the offline. No, it's not the case. Online classes will be different and offline classes will be different. One will be the continuation for the other.
सर फोन का अडाप्टर है चार्जर का दियो ना मेरा चल रहा है इसमें अभी ट्रेन में बैठने को ना आवा मला को फोन
Train.
विजयवाड़ा वही शादी करे ना परसों बड़ा आदमी का काम है
So do we need any official letter from parents to attend the classes? Yes, you need the confirmation letter from your parents to attend the classes.
उससे नीचे आएगा आगे किस तरह का
Any other thing to be asked with regard to that offline or online classes?
उतने तेलवाना के मानता तो वो क्या ही ना लेता
Good. So let us finish off this particular JavaScript second unit with this particular program. We will see it as the last program. Then remaining one more program is there, which I will keep it for two programs are there, which I will keep for your homework. Okay. So this particular program I am going to discuss here. Have a look. Neha, yes, it ends at 5 o'clock.
Sir, I have told all those things, sir. Again, they are asking for you. You follow me, I'll keep them, I'll tell them. Everything have been shared for them.
Okay, I'm closing the chat box now. Let us concentrate on the program. So here you are able to see a form email verification. validation program. In this one, we are trying to check whether the user has entered a valid email or not. Now, what is the validity of an email? An email should have a name or some string before the at the rate symbol. It should have something before the at the rate. And there should be a dot. And after dot, there should be at least two characters or three characters after the dot. For example, AUK underscore mfan. This becomes whatever string I want to keep before at the rate. AUK underscore mfan at the rate yahoo.com. Now, after at the rate, dot cannot come exactly after at the rate. Then before dot, there should be some text, and after dot, there should be some text. So what I need to do is I need to get to know what is the index of at the rate, what is in the position of at the rate symbol, as well as what is the position of dot symbol. So after getting these two positions, then only I can verify whether there is a text available before at the rate or not. Okay. So for having that thing, I created a simple HTML form in which I have got one text box and a button. To create the text box, I have used an input tag, type is equal to text, and I have entered a name to it as email. Using this one, we will be able to identify that particular HTML element input box. Okay, there is one more input, type is equal to submit, which will create a submit button for us, and its value or the text caption I have kept as register. Okay, here I can even write validate. Whatever you keep in the value, it will get displayed on the. Okay, I changed this one, not in the profile. Whatever I am writing here will get displayed on the. So let's quickly refresh this page. Can you see? It became validate. Now, coming back again for this program, what I'm trying to do is when form is submitted, I'm not performing any action. If I wish, I can go for a particular page also. Jumping back to the original page. Okay. So on submit, I'm making a call to check what is the functionality return this form validation. If this email underscore validation returns true, then this on submit is true. It will perform the action which is given over here. If this on submit returns false, it will not perform any action whatever has been listed here. Okay, it should give some alert message and stop over there. So let us try to see how we are going to get the details. To read what has been entered in this text box, whatever has been entered in the text box, we need to identify this text box by using some name, right? So I'm trying to use document, and since you know that these are objects, using document dot form, which is the form which we have created, it is an object, and in that one I am having an input box which is having a name associated with it called as email. So I'm writing document.myform.email, and what do I need from the email? I want the value that is entered in the text box. So I'm taking the value, returning back or storing it back into the variable x. Now from that x, I'm trying to identify what is the index of at the rate symbol. So dot index of at the rate. Since x, whatever has been entered here in the input box is text type, right? Text type means it is string. So I'm trying to find out what is the index of the character at the rate. What is the index of the character at the rate? This index of is a predefined function for the string objects. So it returns where exactly this at the rate symbol is present. Similarly, I'm trying to find out what is the last position of dot. Why I'm telling last position? Because, for example, if the email is like auk.mfan gmail.com, so there are two dots here, auk dot and dot gmail.com. So There are various dots coming in between. There are two dots. One is .com and AUK dot. Then I need the last ones. Okay, I want the last one's index because after it there should be at least two characters more. So I'm having last index of to be calculated. What is the last index of dot character? I'm storing it into dot position. I'm checking if the at the rate position is 1 is less than 1. That means before at the rate there is no other character. Then it is not valid. Or if the dot position, the last position at which the dot occurred, is lesser than some at the rate symbol plus two character. That means if the dot is not having at least two characters after the at the rate symbol, then it is wrong. For example, gmail.com, Gmail, almost five characters, right? Yahoo.com, almost four characters, five characters. But I am checking after at the rate, there should be at least two characters more. And if the dot position is lesser than that, then also it is wrong. Plus, after dot position, there should be at least two characters. And if that length is altogether lesser than or equal to length of the actual email, then also it is wrong. Okay. So at that point, I am asking the user alert, please enter a valid string or email. So let us try to execute this program and check. Here I am entering AUK underscore M at the rate yahoo.com. So you can see after dot I have got three characters. Okay. So after dot position plus 2 should be greater than or equal to total length. So what is the dot position here? Let us calculate how many characters we have entered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So my dots position is 16. 16 plus 2 means 17, 18. This one that we have calculated is greater than or equal to total length. Total length, there are some more, one more character, right? Total length is 19. If I'm thinking that after dot plus two characters is greater than or equal to total length, then the email is wrong because at least there should be two characters after dot, right? There may be three characters also. So for that reason, I am thinking that at least if it is lesser than two, then it is wrong. Similarly, at the rate symbol. If this at the rate, if at the rate position is less than one, that means if its value is zero, then also it is wrong because if its value in the string is 0, that means it is the first character available. So there is no email name given, username given for it. The remaining string is just the domain of our email, right? Before at the rate symbol is the actual username for us, which in my case AUK underscore mkhan. So checking what is the at the rate symbol, if its position is less than 1 or if the dot position is lesser than the at the rate symbol plus 2, that means after at the rate at least two characters should be there, or if the dot position plus 2 is greater than or equal to string dot length total email dot length, then pop up this particular thing. So if I click on validate, it has taken back to the original page for me. Okay. I can go for any other page also if I wish. For example, let us say markio.html just to show whether it is working. Okay. Let me enter an email, valid email. Entering a valid email. So let's check whether it takes to the marquee or not. Yes, it has taken. Now, the same page, for this one, I will not enter a valid email. I will enter some invalid email. Let us say something I entered. And I am now checking its validity. It gave me what is the at the rate position 0 because it is a string. String is a array of characters. Its first position at the rate symbol is 0. What is the dot position? Over here is 0, 1 and 2. It's giving me the dot position as 2. So clearly it says that the email that you entered is wrong. So let's check if I entered some text here. Is something here and two characters after that. Click on it, it took it as valid. Though I entered something rubbish over here, but still it took it as valid. Because the validation that we checked is based on the number of characters that has been kept before or after the iterate symbol and dot symbols. It is not checking whether the domain that you have entered is Yahoo domain or Gmail domain or what domain. So this program has got its own limitations, but this is a simple program for checking off our email validations. Similarly, I kept a program for password validations here, in which you are going to check whether the password was entered or not. If it's blank or if it is null, then it will return false, telling that password cannot be written. If the password length is lesser than 8 characters, then also it is going to say that password length cannot be less than 8 characters. So this program is also very important and useful. Similar to this one, I kept one more program in which retyping of passwords is being checked, whether the first and the second password which has been entered are same or not. If the first password and the second password which has been entered are same, then only it will return true, otherwise it will return false, and that both should match. Okay, these two programs I'm keeping for your homework. You should do it and let me know whether you were facing any difficulty in that one or not. So this is the finish of our second unit. We'll be starting our third unit shortly. Within a short period, I'm going to keep within 5-6 minutes. I'm going to keep the link again back for you for our Java class. Okay. Till then, in the JavaScript, does anyone has any doubt?
Answer class question.
Kumar kept a chat. Can we know that email exists even if we type the email address? It just verifies the email according to @com. Uh, uh, Whether the email is a valid email, whether that email exists or not, this is not going to be checked at the client side. It should be verified at the server end. That's the limitation of our JavaScript here. At the server side, we don't know whether the email is actually existing or not. We only know how to check whether it is valid or not before sending it to the server. Just like whether the password is correct or not, we cannot know it. But whether the password was matching the 8 characters restriction or not, we can check it at our client end. That's the restriction of client-side programming when compared to server-side programming. But if we don't check it at client level, and if we send at the server to check all those details, the server will get unnecessarily burdened up for every like small piece of checkings, which is not to be motivated. So always we will check at the client side before we send the data to the server. I hope it's clear, Kumar. Thank you.
Sir, 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 to verify email, few websites will send verification code. No, sir. Is that client side or from server side, sir?
Server side. Server side. At the server, the token value will be generated, and that token value will be sent from the server to our email. And when we enter that particular value, again, for matching it to the server, the request will be sent. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Does any other person has any doubt? Because I am going to schedule the class. Okay, good. Thank you, Ravikesh.